Joe Biden just shook the entire internet. The digital world, the world altogether is shaken because he dropped out of the race. He jumped off the ship. But was this a whole plan altogether? Was the Democrats playing chess while everybody else was playing checkers? And the only reason that I'm talking about politics, because I really don't get into politics, but I've had several people online saying that their prophet told them that this would happen. Well, I got to respond to that because in 1989 there was someone who spoke to that degree, and they were a prophet that you may not remember in 1989. Oh, you don't want to miss this video.
Now click that like button and that bell notification so you'll be notified every time we put out a new video while you prepare yourself for this video clip. And I'll come back with some commentary. Let's go.
Back in 1989, someone spoke to the country and let us know exactly how a woman would become president of the United States. They brought it up then, but could that same level of intellect, that same formula, been brought to the Democrats now, and they're using that same strategy that was spoken of in 1989 to get her into office? Now, I want to share this with you because let's be real, some of us saw this coming, but you have some prophets inside of Christianity that are going to say, I said, I told y'all. Listen, some of these fake prophets, all of them really get on my nerves, but let's be real. A broke clock can be right at least twice a day. And so, I want to go ahead and look at this. Let's go ahead and get into this prophecy. It's going to surprise you. Let's go.
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become President of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president.
As you all can see, President Gerald Ford, prophet President Gerald Ford, spoke of this exact thing in 1989. Now, of course, he said that the president would have to die. That's the only caveat there. Joe's not dead. He's not dead, but let's be real. He's really, really old and really, really up there. But then that often you got to ask the question now, was all of this Joe, was he acting? Could Joe have really been putting on an act? Because he knew the entire time, I'm not going to continue doing this. I'm ready to go and plant tomatoes, a garden, and different things of that nature. So I'm just setting the road up for Kamala Harris. And so I've got to go ahead and look at that, but I don't want to stop there. That wasn't just Gerald Ford who said that. That was actually spoke of in February by somebody else. Let's get into it. Go ahead. Let's go.
If Donald Trump is the nominee of the Republican Party, we will have a President Kamala Harris. That's just a fact.
And the party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. There will be a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris.
There's no way that Donald Trump is going to win this election. You're going to have a female president of the United States. It's either going to be me or it's going to be Kamala Harris. Joe Biden is not going to be the nominee. I would make any bets about that. The party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that's going to win.
Who do you think will be the Democratic nominee?
Well, I've said there's going to be a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. And if Donald Trump is the nominee, mark my words, we will see a President Kamala Harris.
Once again, some people had knowledge of what was getting ready to happen. This is not something that's unknown. Many people felt like it was going to happen. Joe Biden is older. Thank God for what he did, and he's been a part of society in the politics for a long time. And I know many people have their opinion, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care Republican or Democrat. So if you're waiting on me to say what side I stand on, I stand for my home and I stand for Jesus Christ. Not in that order, because I stand for Jesus Christ and represent my home. I'm gonna go with whoever is speaking to the pulse and the mindset of my home. You know, you can't get me to go Democrat or Republican, and I don't vote for people just because of the color of their skin. I vote for them based on what they're speaking in regards to my home, and you should as well. You can't paint me red or blue, a donkey or an elephant. You can't paint me inside of those. And I encourage those of you who are out there, please vote in regard to the pulse of your home. And for those of you that's going with these prophets, waiting on them to speak a certain thing so you can go out there and vote, listen, people, listen. Because even inside of that, you've got all kind of things that are wrapped up in Christianity, and many charismatics, especially the whites, have wrapped up the gospel in the American flag. And then the black folk, black church is guilty of wrapping up, how they vote in blackness, wrapping up the gospel in blackness. And so we're diluting the gospel, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as to what it will benefit blackness or America. And I'm going to tell you this: God is God that stands above all things. And it says, at the name of Jesus, every knee, even that donkey and that elephant, got to bow, and every tongue must confess that he is Lord. So the thing that I look at is that it's a dangerous thing to try to mix politics and say that this is going to happen or that's going to happen because God is Democrat or God is Republican. That's not good. If we could have a Christian nation, what flavor of Christianity would it be? Would it be the flavor of an Al Sharpton? Oh, would it be the flavor of Billy Graham, God rest his soul? What flavor of Christianity would it be? Because even when you go to these universities and colleges, all of them are backed by a level of Christianity based on a denomination. Their specific belief and doctrine is what it's based on. So what Christian nation would we have? So I'm very careful even with that regard on saying that something is a Christianity or not, because we have to get into doctrine. And if we get into doctrine, we have to get into how we are moving. And if we get into how we move, and we have to get into what is sin and what is not, because you've got people now, just gonna be real with you, who are saying that Christianity, they're actually celebrating Pride Month in black churches, in white churches, celebrating Pride Month. And y'all, we've gotten off track, but if we go even further, Kamala Harris going against Donald Trump, this is going to be different. That narrative about who is old and who is not, that's all changed. Joe's not there anymore. And so now who's the old candidate? Who are we watching out to make sure they don't have a senior moment? This is all changed. And I'm going to go even further. I'm going to show you this right here, just with a little context to Kamala Harris, as far as how she's dealt in the Senate and different things of that nature. I want you to look at this and pay attention, because this is going to let you know a whole lot.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking in the court then. Let's talk about the fact. Yeah, I'm about.
Any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question. But
Male versus female.
there are medical procedures.
Okay. That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body.
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
Answer the question.
Senator, I think I've answered the question.
No, you've not.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone?
I wouldn't.
Yes or no?
Could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it. Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else?
Seems you'd remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but
Perhaps they've suggested,
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
hinted,
I don't know.
inferred. You don't know. Okay.
You see, she not new to this. She true to this. I cannot wait, honestly, just because it's going to be pure entertainment. I can't wait for the next debate, presidential debate, where it's going to be against Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. This is going to be one for the ages because, the narrative have changed. The narrative have changed. And many of y'all saw that first debate against Joe Biden, which I do believe that Joe Biden, when he was debating Donald Trump, I believe what was happening is that he was only setting the stage for what he knew was getting ready to happen. So he did several senior moment-ish. Now, I'm going to be very careful when I say senior moment because it's a wonderful thing to get to old age. It's a wonderful thing to get to old age and you're forgetting stuff and all of that. That's a wonderful thing. And all of us hope that we can get to an old age where, our kids are taking care of us and different things of that nature. So it's a wonderful thing. But we don't want the leader of the United States to be somebody who's in old age, so far up there in old age that we got to worry if he's going to forget things, especially when they call him and he's got the nuclear codes and are able to send off missiles. We don't want nobody having a senior moment in that moment. Let's just go on and keep it 100, keep it a buck with you. We don't want that. However, is America getting ready to see the first female African American, Asian descent, woman president in the United States? Are we getting ready to see that? And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all be careful with these prophets because you got many of them going to jump on there trying to get credibility, calling out stuff that's already been said. This have already been said. And so we're getting ready to see that. But what do you think about this whole thing? Because this is something that just came, I don't really get into politics too much, but I only touch this because you've got prophets out here and their followers talking about, well, my prophet said this, my prophet said that. And they giving these broad prophecies and speaking and saying, y'all, like I said, a broke clock can be right twice a day. I'm going to tell you that. And just because it's right at one moment, you can't ignore all the times it's been wrong. All the moments. You can't ignore that. And I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this entire situation, especially with the prophets? But you can go ahead and tell me what you think about Kamala Harris. You can go ahead and tell me what you think about Joe Biden dropping out. What do you think the dynamics of the race is going to be now? And also tell me, how do you vote? When you vote, how do you vote? Are you Democrat, you Republican, and why? Don't just get in here with the foolishness of all Democrats going to hell, or all Republicans going to hell. No, all sinners are going to hell. That's what the reality of this is. But I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this entire situation? Let me know what you think about these false prophets and what they're saying. And let me know what you think about Gerald Ford, President Gerald Ford, and what he said in 1989. Get in the comments. Let's go.